Hey there, and welcome to Authentically ADHD. I'm your host, Carmen, and I am so glad that you're here. This is a podcast where we get real about ADHD. No filters, no judgment, a safe space to explore and learn and grow. If you're here, it's because you want to take a deep dive into the world of ADHD, and trust me, we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. Now, you're probably wondering, why did I start this podcast? Well, in true ADHD fashion, it all started very impulsively. One day, I thought, I should start a podcast, especially with all this paperwork that I have and all these notes that I have trying to understand my own ADHD. And the next thing I knew, here I am, sharing thoughts with you. I don't know, 200, 100 episodes later? I don't know. I lose track of time. I'm time blind. Are you? Anyways, when you have ADHD, ideas come fast, and sometimes you just gotta roll with them. Honestly, this podcast was born out of my passion for understanding ADHD in a deeper way with the newest research. You see, pills don't teach skills. That's something I've learned over the years. Medication can help, and it's a great tool to use, but true growth, that comes from knowledge, understanding, and actionable skills. And so that's what I want to share with you. Research-backed insights, practical tips, and lived experiences of someone who's been there. Now, a little bit about me. I'm not just a host of this podcast. I'm also an early childhood special education teacher, which means I've spent years understanding how children learn, grow, and thrive in ways that work for them, especially when they're neurodiverse. And I'm also a certified life and performance coach, guiding people to unlock their full potential in both their personal and professional lives. But here's the thing that makes me a little different. I'm also a late diagnosed ADHDer. And on top of that, I self-identify as being on the autism spectrum. So when I talk about ADHD, it's not just from a professional perspective, it's from lived experience, because I get it. I know what it's like to feel like your brain is running at full speed while everyone else is moving at a different pace, and you have instructions that are in Japanese and upside down, and everybody else got them in their own language. Throughout this podcast, I'll share all kinds of insights about navigating life with ADHD, from the everyday struggles to the strengths that we can celebrate. We'll talk about everything from time management to relationships to self-advocacy, and all about how to live authentically in a world that often asks us to be anything but. Whether you have ADHD yourself or you want to understand it better, you are in the right place. So, let's get started. Hi, this is a disclaimer that I am a early childhood special education teacher. I am a certified life and performance coach, and I am a podcaster. All right, I am not a medical doctor, and none of this information should be used in supplement of a medical professional and or therapy. Hey there, my friend, and welcome back to Authentically ADHD, the podcast where we turn neurodivergent chaos into curious exploration. I'm your host, Carmen, and today our episode is called Understanding ADHD and Executive Functions, the neuroscience that explains a very common disorder, because this disorder is very common. Or if you're me, why can't I just do the thing? We're talking about executive functions, those invisible mental processes that basically run the show. But when you've got ADHD, this show might not run on time, or at all. But guess what? There's scientific reason for that, and better yet, there are tools that actually can help. So what are executive functions anyway? We're going to get nerdy, but make it fun and ADHD brain friendly. Executive functions are kind of like your brain's backstage crew. They're not in the spotlight, but without them, the show doesn't really go on. They plan the set, they keep track of the script, they change the scenes, and they make sure that you don't scream at the printer when it eats the last sheet of paper. Again. So what exactly do they do? They're a set of high-level cognitive processes that include working memory, which is holding information in your head temporarily, like a mental sticky note. Then there is planning and prioritizing, figuring out what needs to be done, when, what order, and when on your calendar and how long it's going to take. Inhibition, the ability to pause before acting or speaking. Time management, estimating how long things will take and staying aware of the current time and time perception. Emotional regulation, keeping your cool when life throws you a glitter bomb of stress. And flexibility, shifting gears when plans change. According to the Center on Developing Child at Harvard University, these skills are orchestrated primarily by the prefrontal cortex, that chunk of your brain located just behind your forehead. It's essentially the command center for all your to-do-the-thing abilities. But here's the ADHD twist. In our brains, this command center works a little different. It's not that it's broken, it's that it's wired in a way that's less consistent and more easily derailed. Research using brain imaging, fMRIs, and PET scans has consistently shown a reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex of individuals with ADHD, especially during tasks requiring focus, inhibition, and self-regulation. And get this, studies also show that brain maturation in ADHD is delayed by up to 3 years compared to our neurotypical peers, particularly in the frontal cortex and parietal areas involved in executive control. That's pretty significant lag when you're trying to keep up with the demands of work, school, and just basically life. So if you've ever felt like you're behind your peers when it comes to managing your schedule, finishing tasks, or handling stress, it's not a character flaw, it's neuroscience. Let's get a little meta. The brain behind the curtain. Think of executive functions like the stage manager of a play. When everything goes well, the props are in place, working memory. The actors hit their cues, task initiation, and the lights change on time management. But with ADHD, the stage manager sometimes loses the script mid-scene, changes the lighting too early or too late, and brings a goat on stage instead of the love interest. Metaphorically, but maybe literally if you're a preschool teacher. It's not sabotage. It's a misfiring communication line between parts of the brain that should be playing more in harmony. Just for fun, a quick little brain map, if you will. The prefrontal cortex is for planning, decision-making, and impulse control, and that's the CEO. The anterior cingulate cortex, that controls task initiation and error monitoring, the project manager, if you will. Then there's the basal ganglia, the traffic director. They are in charge of attention and motor control. No, not motor like your motor in your car, but motor as in coordination and movement. Then there's the amygdala, and that is responsible for emotional processing. It also can be called the fire alarm. Then there's the cerebellum. That's for the timing and coordination, the choreographer. All these regions interact to make executive function happen. But with ADHD, it's like there's a delay in the group chat, and they're all trying their best, but the messages are getting jumbled, delayed, or lost entirely. So, your brain is not lazy. It's just on a different frequency. So yes, executive functions are the brain skills that help you adults successfully. But for ADHD brains, those functions are working with different tools at a different tempo and sometimes on an entirely different sheet of music. In short, executive functions are the behind-the-scenes stage crew. And with ADHD, they sometimes forget the script, they lose the props, and they yell cue lights during intermission. But here's the good news. You can train and support these functions through strategies, routines, and self-awareness. Because even if the brain's backstage is messy, there's still a brilliant show waiting to happen. Okay, science hats on again, real quick. Research shows that ADHD brains have lower dopamine activity in the prefrontal cortex. Dopamine is your motivation and reward neurotransmitter. It's that felt good, let's do it again chemical. And when that's lacking, your brain has a hard time prioritizing or sticking to the tasks that don't feel immediately rewarding. Also, working memory, our brain's mental sticky note system, is often impaired. The sticky is gone. That's why you walk into a room and forget why you're there. Or start 5 tasks and finish maybe 1, but usually none. And don't even get me started on time perception. The ADHD brain often can't feel the passage of time accurately. That's why 5 minutes can feel like 30 and 3 hours can disappear in a blink. It's not laziness. It's neurobiology. We struggle with a lot, and now that we've cracked open the neuroscience behind executive function, let's talk about how it actually shows up in our daily lives. Spoiler alert, it's not just about losing your keys and missing a deadline. It's about living in a brain that runs on a totally different operating system. Here are some of the most common executive function struggles ADHDers face, and the brain science behind each one. Task initiation, the invisible force field. You know that feeling when you're staring at the laundry, the email, the spreadsheet. You really, really want to do it. You need to do it. But your body, definitely, completely still doesn't want to do it. It's like there's an invisible force field between you and the task. Neuroscience says that this is not procrastination. It's a neurological inertia. Studies show that ADHD, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is in the middle of your brain, helps initiate and plan tasks. It shows reduced activation, and on top of that, dopamine deficiency in ADHD means that there's not enough reward motivation to overcome that mental resistance. Here's a translation. Your brain is not broken. It just doesn't light up for boring tasks the same way that neurotypical brains do. Imagine trying to push a shopping cart with square wheels. It's not that you don't want to go, you just need different wheels. Emotional dysregulation. Why and when the volume is always on max. Something small happens, like spilling your coffee, and suddenly you're rage crying and wondering why everything feels so hard. Here's why. The amygdala, your brain's emotional alarm system. It tends to be hyper-reactive to an ADHD. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, which usually steps in to regulate emotions and calm things down, doesn't always respond in time or at all. So, emotions hit harder, faster, and stick around longer. Emotional dysregulation isn't just a mood swing. It's a brain-based challenge in regulating intensity, duration, and response. It's like having your emotional volume stuck at 11, and someone keeps hitting the bass boost button. Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Hey there. If you're looking for a game changer in managing your ADHD, let me tell you about something that's made a huge impact on my life. Focused, the adult ADHD group coaching program by Kristen Carter. This isn't just another program. It's a community. It's a roadmap. It's a lifeline for adults with ADHD who want to thrive. Inside of Focus, you'll find weekly coaching calls with Kristen packed with actionable insights, a supportive community of adults who get it. They get what it's like to live with ADHD. You'll get tools and strategies that actually work for our brains. No fluff, just real results. I've been a part of Focused for over a year, and let me tell you, it's where I've learned so much of what I share with you on Authentically ADHD. It's been a game changer for me, and I think it could be for you too. And here's the best part. If you use my link to join, we both save money. It's a win-win. So if you've been looking for the right ADHD support, this is your sign to check it out. Head to the link in my show notes to learn more and sign up. Let's thrive together with tools and support that we need to succeed. Are you also loving what we're doing on Authentically ADHD but want to take your experience to the next level? Well, I have got something for you. Introducing the Authentically ADHD Patreon, your VIP pass to the ultimate ADHD support hub. As a Patreon member, you'll unlock exclusive perks like early access to every single episode, hear it before anyone else does, a treasure trove of resources that I've made, tools, guides, and worksheets to help you thrive in everyday aspects of life, direct coaching opportunities with me designed to help you harness your ADHD powers, and the cherry on top, an incredible community of like-minded individuals who just get it. You're not alone on this journey, and together we can be unstoppable. By joining Patreon, you're not just supporting the podcast, you're fueling a movement. Together, we're breaking stigmas, embracing authenticity, and creating a world where ADHD is seen as a strength and not just a struggle. So what are you waiting for? Head over to patreon.com/authenticallyADHD and join the family today. Let's keep growing, thriving, and showing up authentically together. Hope to see you over there. Back to the show. Alrighty, back to the things that we struggle with the most. Impulsivity, the sure, why not reflex. Ever agreed to a new project even though your to-do list is already sobbing in the corner, or blurted something out before your brain had some time to apply any of brakes? This comes from underactivity in the orbitofrontal cortex and the anterior cingulate cortex, both are which they involve self-monitoring, decision-making, and inhibition or impulse control. Combine that with low dopamine, and it's easy to chase novelty over long-term plans. You're not reckless. You're just wired to respond now and reflect later. It's like having a Formula One engine with bicycle brakes. Organization. That pile of paper, the 3 dozen half-finished notebooks, the kitchen counter that became a drop zone. ADHD organization issues aren't about laziness. They're about executive overload. Research shows that deficits in working memory, our mental sticky note, and spatial working memory, keeping track of physical space and items, are common in ADHD. The result, you need to forget what you're organizing while you're doing it. Plus, the ADHD brain often has trouble with sequencing tasks, knowing what step comes next, making cleanup feel like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Your space isn't messy because you don't care. It's messy because your brain is navigating a non-linear maze of thoughts, priorities, and distractions. Next up is follow-through, the ghosting of all the great ideas. You start a plan or project with fire. You've got a vision board, the playlist, the perfect planner, but then crickets. The momentum fades and the shame creeps in. This is a classic combo of the dopamine drop-off, time blindness, and executive fatigue. You lose the novelty buzz, and then you get started, and your brain doesn't get enough reward from mid-task progress to stay engaged. Studies have shown that ADHD brains have reduced sustained attention capacity, especially in the monotonous or delayed reward tasks. It's not that you're flaky, it's that your brain's fuel tank runs out pretty much halfway through the trip. Starting a project with ADHD is like lighting a firework and then realizing halfway through the show that you're missing the fuse. The emotional weight of executive dysfunction. Here's where it gets real. Navigating life with executive dysfunction is more than just inconvenient. It's exhausting. It's demoralizing to know that what needs to be done, and we're just not able to do it. When society labels that as laziness or disorganization, the emotional toll just compounds. Research from the Journal of Attention Deficit Disorders shows that adults with ADHD are at increased risk of anxiety and depression and low self-esteem, often because of that chronic failure and misunderstandings around executive function struggles. So yeah, it's not just a messy desk. It's years of feeling like you're broken in a world that rewards perfect planners and 5-year plans. But here's the thing, you're not broken. You're brilliantly built differently. And once we understand the science behind these struggles, we can stop blaming ourselves and start building systems that honor how our brains actually work. We're not bad at life. We're navigating it with totally different internal compass. And once we learn to read it, everything changes. Let's pause a moment here. Why are these coping skills so important? Because ADHD isn't going anywhere. It's not a phase, it's not a personality quirk or a willpower issue. It's a lifelong brain-based condition, and executive dysfunction doesn't magically vanish with adulthood or a planner from Target, although the stickers do help. But here's the good news. Our brains have neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire, adapt, and change over time. So with the right support and habits, we can build systems that work with our neurodiversity, not against it, over time. Now here comes the juicy part. 7 ADHD-friendly coping tips. 1. Break big tasks down into bite-sized pieces. Why does it work? It reduces overwhelm and activates the reward center with small wins. For example, clean the kitchen becomes put dishes in sink, wipe down counters, take out trash. Each one gets its own dopamine hit. Tip 2. Use visual timers or alarms. Why it works. It helps overcome that time blindness and procrastination. Set a 25-minute Pomodoro timer. Start with something neutral, like folding laundry. You'll be surprised what that momentum can do. Tip number 3. Externalize your brain. Working memory is unreliable. Offloading it helps free up brain space. For example, use a whiteboard, sticky notes, or apps like Notion, Todoist, or Sansama to hold that information outside of your brain. Create dopamine routines is number 4. Pairing boring tasks with stimulation makes them bearable or even fun. For example, only listen to your favorite true crime podcast while doing the dishes. Boom. Task plus reward. Tip number 5. Move your body, even just a little bit. Physical activity boosts dopamine and executive function. 10 jumping jacks between Zoom calls or dancing to one song before emails, no gym required, and easy free dopamine boost. Tip number 6, use body doubling. Why does this work? Being watched can activate focus. It's science-backed and magic feeling. For example, ask a friend to be on video while you both do chores, or use body doubling apps like FocusMate or Dubby. Tip number 7, practice self-compassion. I know, you cringed, but it works because shame shuts down executive function. Self-kindness activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Hello, calm. Now, say, this is hard because of ADHD, not because I'm lazy. I'm doing the best I can today. My final thoughts for you today is that our brains work differently, but they still work. Living with ADHD and executive dysfunction is not easy, but understanding your brain is the first step to reclaiming your power. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about supporting yourself so you can show up with a full, vibrant, neurodivergent brilliance that you are. Give yourself permission to try new strategies, fail, try again, and celebrate every win, no matter how small. Because small wins, over time, build big self-trust. And remember, you're not alone, you're not broken, you're wired differently, and that wiring is worthy of understanding, love, validation, and support. If today's episode helped you, made you laugh, or gave you one of those wait, me too moments, share it with a fellow ADHDer, or leave a review. And if you want even more resources, coaching, or ADHD magic, head over to my Patreon page or follow me in any area in my link tree in the show notes. Until next time, stay authentic and we will talk soon.